It was 3:30 a.m. and still dark outside as I walked to work down this old country dirt road to pick up my friend George, who lived down some ways from me. As I got near his house, I could see no light coming from inside. So I thought to myself, maybe he's not going with me today, since he said the day before he didn't feel well. But as I approached closer to the front door, there he was, sitting in this old chair, waiting for me. I said, "Hey, George, I thought I was going to have to wake you up." Jokingly, he didn't respond and stood up and walked to the side of the house and grabbed some tools and handed them over to me, again without saying a word to me. We continued our walk together now to Old Man Henry's farm, towards the northeast corner of the property, where we had begun digging an irrigation ditch to water the new crops coming in. We started our work, but this time I noticed George was more quiet than usual. An hour into our work, I started to notice an odd odor coming from where we were digging. It smelled like rotten meat. I then turned around to ask George if he could smell it too, and he was gone. I looked around and didn't see him. I finished what I was doing, climbed out of that ditch, and began my walk to George's house, cursing him the entire way. Once I got there, I saw his wife sitting in the chair by the front door with tears in her eyes. As I walked over to her, a doctor stepped out of the house and said to her, "He doesn't have much time now. You may want to go in and say your goodbyes." She then saw me and said, "Joe, my husband is dying. Why are you here?" I was confused but didn't want to alarm her or make her think I was crazy. I said, "George let me borrow these tools yesterday, and I was returning them and wanted to check on him." She then said to me he was in bed sick all day from the day before, and early this morning it took a turn for the worse. He got a high fever and fell into a coma. I then went inside to see him, and there he was, pale and in bed. His wife then gave him a kiss on the forehead and walked out crying. The doctor then covered his body with a white sheet as a local preacher read a final prayer for him.